Good morning, everybody. Today is September 16th. Dr. Vuong here with a quick COVID update. 170,000 cases yesterday. So, this isn't going away anytime soon. Hot areas remain West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky. It's heading way up towards Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. And yes, the Midwest is starting to catch on fire. So wait for Chicago. Places like Wyoming are just like really high, and we forget about Alaska, but it just really looks like the entire United States is on fire. So there we are. And this isn't going away anytime soon. And it looks like we're going to plateau around an average of, probably 160,000, 170,000 cases. Maybe go down a little bit. And then here comes the fall surge. And remember, this is the second surge. Everything we went through last year was the first surge. First wave, this is the second wave, there will be a third wave. What I want to talk about, some people are making claims like, Dr. V, why are there so many doctors and healthcare professionals who are not getting vaccinated if it works so well? And why are so many people resigning, nurses resigning over mandates and stuff? And I go, cool the fuck down. All right, calm down. Stop reading headlines. It's not so many. The vast majority of healthcare workers have been vaccinated, something like 95%. It's a very small number. So probably the most popular headline news was when the Houston area hospitals, Memorial Hermann, first made it mandatory for healthcare workers to get vaccinated. And there was something like, 150, 200 healthcare workers were protesting, we're going to walk out on the job, et cetera, et cetera. And the CEO of the healthcare system came out and says, we have 30,000 employees, and this is like a small group of people, 200 maybe, who are not wanting to get vaccinated. And he said, but it's the mandates, the deadline's coming, whether they would like it or not. And sure enough, several of them who were out there picketing and rioting, they got vaccinated. You just didn't hear the follow-up. And for the handful of ones that didn't, they got fired. They got let go, man. It's within every company's rights to mandate vaccinations. We do it for schools. We do it for international travel, all sorts of stuff. So it's not so many. So everyone who sits there and goes, why are so many doctors refusing this or that? Dude, it's not true. It's not true. Stop saying stuff like that. But what about in New York City, the labor and delivery program that had to close down because nurses were walking out? First of all, prior to COVID, prior to the pandemic, you realize there was a nursing shortage. You understand that, right? So there's already a nursing shortage. Then COVID hit. Now it's been a year and a half, and they're all stressed out because people aren't getting vaccinated. We're having this huge surge. So and they're taking nurses from one area to another area to just try to take care of the sick COVID patients. And so they're stressed out and they're stretched very thin. So it doesn't take but a couple of nurses to get sick, to retire early, to walk away, that you're going to shut down a labor and delivery ward. And you don't know if maybe that labor and delivery ward was already on the brink. So it's not, stop reading headlines. Let me say something a little bit more medical. And this is a fact. This has appeared and has come out as warning for physicians. Sorry, my allergies are kicking in bad. Sorry. This is coming out from our professional societies. When I was a surgeon, you get board certified surgeons. So the boards and the professional societies that oversee licensure. So let me explain this real quick. So let's say each state regulates licensure. So I practiced in Texas, I practiced in Illinois, I practiced in New Mexico. And each state has its own licensing board. And the licensing board of the state wants to make sure that you're board certified. You're certified by whatever society that you belong to. I was board certified by American College of Surgeons, for example. But there's a family practice board, OB-GYN board, etc. So these specialization boards have sent out warnings and have basically said that if you spread, as a physician, if you spread COVID misinformation, you are putting your licensure at risk. Now, when you put your board certification at risk, that not only risks your state licensure, but it also risks insurance. Like a lot of insurances will not put you on the plan if you're not board certified. So you're getting doctors who are putting themselves at risk, right? And it's a very small number of doctors. And the boards have unanimously kind of agreed to certain standards. And they specifically said this. They said, for example, you can't go against the standard of care. You can't, freedom of speech is one thing, but you got to protect patients. You can't, for example, promote something that's 0 to 100. Like, in other words, like there's 100 articles for vaccination. There are 0 articles for ivermectin. So it's not even close. It's not even a toss-up. And they specifically said this example. If, for example, you are a physician who tells a patient that they don't need to be vaccinated, and that if you get sick, I will treat you with ivermectin. That is an example of a scenario where evidence is overwhelming for vaccination and not at all there for ivermectin. And in the warnings, they've said, if you do this, doctor, you are putting your licensure at risk. They have specifically come out and said this. Now, it's another thing for a physician to say, I highly recommend you get vaccinated. Like, I'm for vaccination, the data's there. And the patient, for whatever reason, does not get vaccinated or does get vaccinated and then comes down with COVID. And the physician says, okay, you now have COVID. I will treat you with everything, monoclonal antibodies. Here's some vitamin D. Here's some prednisone nebulizer. And yes, here's a proper human dosing of ivermectin, which I'm not sure will work or not, but if you want it, here it is. That's okay. The licensures have said, like, that's okay. But to sit there and say, you do not need to be vaccinated, but if you get COVID and then give them ivermectin, that is not okay. And I just point that out as a specific example. These are things that don't make headline news, guys. And it's things that conspiracy theory, I mean, are we not getting tired of people who just come on and they blatantly say things that are absolutely false, that is exact, like the vaccine, the jab is gene therapy. No, it's not. Like, it's going to alter your DNA. No, it won't. Like, you're an idiot. We're so far beyond that now. And anyone who gets really emotional about, like, I know all of these doctors who are prescribing, and I know all of these nurses are walking out, and why are they? Like, dude, stop reading headline news. Like, stop it. I want this pandemic to end too, but I'm here to tell you we are in for a much worse fall and winter time. And then if we get back down over this, we're going to have a third, most likely smaller wave, a smaller third surge, probably again next fall, somewhere around that time period, probably due to another variant. And hopefully by that point, the vaccinations, we will have enough people vaccinated. And the vaccinations, even though their efficacy might drop from 94% down to 85%, it's going to be enough to protect us against this new variant and the third surge. And that's how this kind of thing peters out. But we got to get up to snuff, man. We got to get up to the vaccination status. So, and it's also, lastly, it's also within your rights to ask for a healthcare provider who's been vaccinated. So do that, right? Anyway, love y'all very much. Stay safe. These are allergies. I'll see you again tomorrow for another COVID update.